Alright, hello. Today I am going to be looking at my solo flawless run for Warlords Ruin. I finally got it done. It's taken way too long, but we managed to get there. And I'm just going to be kind of breaking down how I did it, what I did wrong, what I could have done better, and things kind of like I'm not really happy about the run. Now, when I've been practicing this, I've been practicing it like I'm speedrunning it. As you can see, I'm doing like the speedrunning kind of route. Big mistake. First mistake is that, things like this happen that you're watching currently. Second is that I end up just making so many mistakes. I try and do these silly little skips. You don't want to know how many times that skip at the start killed me. So when trying this, I'd highly recommend just kind of, playing it safe, going round. It will save you a lot of time in the long run. That's my biggest piece of advice for this dungeon. Don't try and speedrun it and take your time, because there's no time limits on any of the bosses. And that's one thing Bungie have done correct. Now getting into this first encounter, this is kind of a similar DPS build that I've kind of done throughout this whole dungeon. You'll see a pattern. So we're running Dragon's Breath for heavy. You get that passive damage. It's just an absolute beast for soloing activities. Because you can pop a Dragon's Breath and then get your damage in elsewhere. So we've got Dragon's Breath, we've got the Blade Barrage, we've got the solar debuff from the seasonal artifact, and we've got a Scatter Signal with Control Burst and Overflow. And of course, as we're a hunter, we're running Celestial Nighthawk for the damage. So as you can see here, I obviously swapped to my second DPS build right here. I roll to get the knife, get the headshot on the golden gun, spray scatter, and then rinse and repeat with the Dragon's Breath. Make sure not to kill myself with the Dragon's Breath. I've done that a lot as well. But this first rotation here, he absolutely strafes like a god there. Not sure if you just saw that. First rotation, not really happy with that damage. Previous runs I've done about half his health on this. But I got my melees a bit messed up and everything. One thing you'll notice is I'm switching loadouts a lot. The first loadout is just my kind of ad clearing loadout. It's pretty much the exact same to my DPS. The only difference is that I've got Assassin's Cowl for my ad clearing. This just lets me get the debuffs quicker, the chieftain drops quicker. And easier, so as you can see, I'm just invisible here. It's super nice and easy, manageable. If only he would spawn his buff, that would be great. I don't think he's going to spawn it though. I really dislike that because I've got 4 seconds of Imminent Wish left, and I'm not going to get that, so it kind of just really decreases your damage. I'm not sure why he does that. Maybe it's because I'm invisible. But anyway, we rinse repeat here. Now, one thing I'll say for this dungeon is that Restoration saved my life. That healing grenade works absolutely wonders. You'll actually notice there that was a really good damage rotation with only having one lantern. But Restoration absolutely saved my life in this whole dungeon. The healing grenade for the solar hunter is unmatched at the moment. Along with the seasonal artifact that you get the debuff from the solar melee or the class abilities. You get the scorch. It just all works really well. Like, the seasonal artifact is geared for you to do this dungeon on solar for this season. When Final Shout comes out, I'm sure it will change. It'll probably maybe geared towards Strand, so we can give that a try. But as you'll see here, he drops his lantern an absolute mile away. Oh no, nice new lost sector open. But we get this one because we have enough time. Swap to the DPS build, and again, you've got the Celestial, debuff him, put the Dragon's Breath, and get the golden gun off. Nice 930k damage there. I do have some armor charges, which are giving me some damage boosts. And we should polish him off here. We should finish that. It's nice, lots of DPS. And 3 phasing, I'm not mad about that. I have 2 phasing, maybe like once or twice, but in a solo flawless run, it's not, you can't really ask for more. So as you notice here, coming into the puzzle, if you can even call it a puzzle, we get this done nice and quick. It was 3 right, 3 left, and there's 6 in total. And again, for some reason, I'm treating this like an absolute speed run. I got I've been watching too much Assault Grepo apparently. Got my sword out. I actually run out of ammo whilst I'm slicing with my sword here. So right here, I'm just getting lumina rounds for when I try to do the lumina skip. You'll see in a second through the bridge. But again, treating this like an absolute speed run. I almost kill myself right there, which again, I've done way too many times to count. Absolute nightmare. And again here, I almost kill myself again. Really stupid of me. You know, things like that just make the run so much longer and so much harder. It's why I've taken so long to do it. You know, I'm not an experienced speedrunner. Why am I trying to, you know, do little skips like that? Especially now that I've just run out of ammo for my sword, which I should have been keeping an eye on, but it doesn't really matter. So you'll see here, I actually try and do the lumina skip. Now, I promise you, I do this 90% of the time. But of course, on the solo flawless run where I actually get this done, I completely miss it and almost just kill myself. But you know, it's such a fun skip to do when you land it. But unfortunately, you know, I'm not waiting for my grapple to be up again. Almost killed myself for there again as well. But not waiting for my grapple to be up, so I just run it. Try and melee him, thinking I've got a charge. But then we're essentially on to the next encounter after this. So, for Locus of the Wailing Grief, this is probably the biggest change that I have in all my DPS loadouts for this dungeon. For the DPS, I'm actually running Shards of Galanor, and the reason is because Shards of Galanor, if you land all your shots on the target, you get 50% of your super back, as well as for every headshot that you get I think it's like 2.5% super back. So basically this means you can get your super back. If you're doing it correctly, you can get your super back 4 times in the whole damage rotation. Now that is absolutely massive for DPS, especially when you're debuffing him with your melee or your class abilities, your melee. It's unmatched so far. So you get the Dragon's Breath, you get the Dragon's Breath passive damage, you get the debuff from the melee, you get the knives. Basically, you just kind of rinse and repeat that for 4 plates. Now, we're actually going to skip along here because this takes a while. I'll just show you my strategy for this guy. So what I do is I just debuff him, I put 2 shots of scatter into him, and then I just kind of wait behind the wall until he procs his last lantern, and then I just clear both of them up, and then I rinse and repeat that just twice to get the four lanterns. Now, I could do... I could try and be a sneaky speedrunner and go for the other guy, but honestly, it's a bit too much hassle, and this is maybe one of the only like large skips I didn't try to do. In the long run, it would have saved a lot of time on all my runs practicing this, but honestly, I'm not too fast because as you'll see, the damage on this guy is pretty nuts. So just coming up to damage here, I'm just clearing these ads just to make sure they don't cause any issues during DPS. Now, it could be good practice to leave a few of the ads, you know, just so you can get those Shards of Galanor, kind of super energy. But I'm just playing it safe. I'm clearing them for now. They should respawn anyway. And then we're on to DPS here. I've just switched to my DPS build. Again, switched off Assassin's Cowl and gone back to Shards of Galanor. There we are, the whole super, as you can see. I see. I've just noticed something whilst we're reviewing this. I didn't get 50% of my super back. I'm not sure if that's a glitch, because I know a lot of it hit, unless I just didn't swap to Shards of Galanor, which I think I did. How bizarre. Okay. Well, as you can see, I'm killing these Thrall here, just to get my super back. We're actually going to go back in. We've got the debuff from the melee, got the Dragon's Breath out. These Thrall are getting in the way, which is wasting some DPS, which isn't ideal, but we still got 6 seconds left. So just pumping everything into them I can. I probably could have debuffed him again, but we're really close to getting our super back there. I've only just noticed that the Shards of Galanor didn't work on the first plate. I'm sure if I did this again, I easily would have had a second super back for that second plate. But regardless, we're on to the third one. Again, we're just going to do Shards of Galanor. I should have debuffed him there, but it looks like I'm not debuffing him. Okay, we'll debuff him later on. But yeah, get the Shards of Galanor off again, a bit late, and now we get 50% of our super back, so that was correct. I'm not sure what happened on the first play. We're just dumping all of our scatter into him, almost kill myself with my Dragon's Breath. And here I can see that I'm going to get my super, but it might not be enough, so I just want to try and kill some ads. Just to make sure that I have enough for the net, so I can get my my super off again. But again, debuff, Dragon's Breath, Scatter Signal, and I'm clearly going to get my super up here. It's going up super quick, and there we are. It's nice because the first blade procs the debuff. You know, you don't really need to worry too much about debuffing the whole super with your melee. I actually think I'd probably save it in hindsight for when I'm doing Dragon's Breath. But as you can see, we got him just over half. Just under half health, which is absolutely insane, especially seeing as what I've just seen, the Shards of Galanor didn't actually proc correctly on that first plate, which I've only just noticed. So yeah, we'll rinse and repeat. We'll clear these ads. We'll get some ammo in the middle, and then we'll just be on to the last damage phase. So I've just switched to my DPS build. I can hear those Scorn spawning, but I'm not too fussed. I'd rather the Scorn spawn opposed to the Taken, because the Taken can be a bit more of a nightmare. But again, we're going in for the last phase. We'll do the Dragon's Breath and the debuff into the Shards of Galanor, and then the 4 shots of Scattered to switch back to the Dragon's Breath, and just rinse and repeat really. I'm conscious that I've got my healing grenade in case I get into a sticky situation. Just shooting Dragon's Breath when I can, and just absolutely mowing down these ads here, just so I can get my Shards of Galanor back. And as you can see, I've pretty much got it already. I could have waited a tiny bit longer, but that's no worries. These Thrall are a bit in the way. Debuff the target. Again, Thrall gets hit by my Shards of Galanor, which isn't ideal. But we'll just continue on, making sure to debuff, 4 shots of Scatter, and then Dragon's Breath. And as you can see, it's just doing absolutely massive damage. Tons and tons and tons of special in the middle, which is perfect for my Scatter. And again, just trying to make sure I get my super back for the next wave, kind of stalling. Got 8 stacks of Biting Storm there, so it was a bit close. Now in this situation, he's a little far away to debuff. He's a little far away to get the roll back, but it's fine because there was an ad there to get the roll, to get my melee. At this point, I'm kind of dreading the worst, looking like I'm going to have to 3-phase him. Don't have much super left, and he's still got quite a decent chunk of health. I make sure to stall as long as possible, just to make sure I can get my super back. And as you'll see here, I'm absolutely clinical. I don't want to mess anything up, because having to 3-phase him with a slither of health, especially seeing how long each phase is an absolute nightmare. And as you can see, I just got it done on the 0. Super, super happy. Probably the cleanest part of the run. 2-phasing him. The other parts were quite messy, you know, missing the skip, having to 3-phase Rathil, the first boss. But yeah, and then we're on to the last encounter. So, the last encounter, the most dreaded. This is the most dreaded encounter for me. This is the one where all my solo flawless attempts absolutely fail. I'm always dying, like on the 3rd platform or something. You'll see I've actually come up with a different strategy for the 3rd platform, and I'll tell you what I was doing before when we get to it. So for this DPS phase, I'm running Golden Gun Celestial. Of course, it's just got unmatched burst damage. And I'm also using my Edge Transit with Envious Assassin Bait and Switch. I'm making sure to run all the Void Surges and also the Armor Charges. That's the same thing. Just to give them max DPS. I'm also running Gambler's Dodge, the one that gives you your reload. But this was my strategy. So here I get the 1 off him. I actually miss. I'm telling you, like I said before, this was the messiest run for a solo flawless I've ever done. I almost never miss that one. But anyway, I miss, so he spawns 2 lanterns. Ideally, what I would do is I just kill him straight away to get the 1 lantern. I actually almost kill myself here. I actually forgot about this. That was close. I need to be destroying the balls. I almost die again. What am I doing? Oh my. How did I complete this? Anyway, what I would usually do is I'd shoot him for one, and then I'd wait for the... I'd shoot him so he gets his first lantern down, and then I'd obviously shoot the other guy with his 2 lanterns. As you can see, I'm actually doing DPS from a mile away. I wouldn't usually do this. I've also just realised I only had 3 shots of edge transit. Oh, because I swapped to the wrong build. As you can see, I was extremely nervous coming up to this last encounter. I've been trying this for so long. I was just messing about left, right, and centre. I accidentally switched to my first DPS build in the first encounter, which doesn't have edge transit, so that's why I had less ammo. Anyway, that was an absolutely horrible first platform there. That's probably the least amount of damage I've ever done. You'll see on this second platform, I believe I do it correctly, although I know I missed the chieftain again. But it's definitely more accurate to how I usually do it. You know, didn't get any lumina skips. Mess up on this. It's almost killed myself 2 or 3 times. This definitely wasn't the cleanest run. But what I'm doing now, because I've got more ammo for my edge transit, I think I'm trying to proc Envious Assassin, just so I can have the biggest mag possible for the DPS phase, because I definitely need it. My strategy for this one is basically just trying to keep my restoration up the entire time. As you can see, it's going down. So what I'm doing is I'm just killing one of the eyes just to make sure I keep it going before the Scion spawn. I've noticed how important restoration is in this dungeon. I've said it before. Without restoration, I wouldn't have been able to do this. The amount of damage I'm taking just from the boss, 2 shots of from that void damage that the boss does, and you instantly go red health and you're on 1 shot. But with restoration, it really allows you to just like completely tank those shots and still kind of take damage. As you can see, I've just run out of restoration, and it put me on 1 shot straight away. So I've had to proc it again. I think that was a waste. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to reproc it. I reprocced it just with an eye, so hopefully I get the... And it's timed out again. So I don't have it for this phase. I think I missed this again. I absolutely missed this. Again, trust me, I never miss these. I was just so nervous. I actually missed a second time. Okay, this is not a prime example. I recommend you actually hit these. I'm not really used to using Izanagi's. And I almost killed myself again. This really is the messiest run of a solo flawless. I look like I'm about to die. So at this stage, I'm usually a lot more comfortable. You know, I usually have lots of restoration left. I usually have a healing grenade, and I usually just hit the chieftain first try. As you can see, I actually got so scared. I just ignored those lanterns, and I'm deciding to just re-go again. So here is where I'm starting to implement the be safe, not sorry sort of thing. I didn't even know the witches spawned actually a second time, because obviously I'd never done this before. I'd never missed out on the lanterns. But yeah, I'm just playing it safe now because I realise I do have a chance of actually doing this. But you know what? It gives me a chance for more heavy. So you'll see what I do on the final platform is I don't swap builds until I have to. So it's really good having like a surplus amount of heavy that you can use against the boss. So here I'm deciding to go again. I'm killing the Taken Ball, and does he hit his Izanagi's? Yes, he finally hits the Izanagi's, so this is what I wanted to do all along. Hit him for 1, get the 1 lantern, wait for the second chieftain to spawn 2, get the invisibility off. I've got my healing grenade in a second. This is what I was supposed to do for the first platform and what I'm supposed to do for the third. I have those lanterns in plenty of time. I've got 10 seconds with Imminent Wish, get my corruption off and head up here. This is where I do DPS. I was also supposed to do this for the first encounter on the second platform. But this is the ideal. I debuff the boss, maybe a bit too early. I only get 800k because I didn't have Radiance, I don't think. And then I just completely unload my Edge Transit, which had a full mag. So that is a lot of damage, and I even get the reload to finish off the whole clip. Now, if I had a perfect first platform, I'm sure he would be on almost probably half right now. I usually get him to roughly half at this point. But that's the second platform, so we'll see what happens on the third. Now, the third platform is where I've had the most stress on this entire encounter. There's not a lot of places to hide, less than the other platforms. I feel like there's, for some reason, more ads, and these taken blights spawn so much quicker, as it feels quicker. So before, when I was doing this, to stay safe, I would actually jump all the way down to the first platform to do DPS, just so those scions couldn't hit me. But for this time, I'm actually gonna, I saw it in a video, I'm actually gonna go up onto where you do the first damage phase of the last part. I found it's a lot easier, and I've actually just realised I've accidentally killed the blight, all the eyes, so I need to kind of start this pretty abruptly. But it goes pretty well. Again, that's perfect how I wanted it, apart from scuffing my melee. But thankfully I have a healing grenade, and I've got lots of ads to kind of max out my restoration. So we're just gonna, usually this is my worst platform. It actually ends up probably being the best. And I've got tons of time to do everything I want to do. I've got 8 seconds left on my Imminent Wish, and I clear the corruption. So we're going to stand up here, swapped back to my DPS build, going to get the debuff off on Heffend and get the golden gun off. Again, only 800 damage, 800k damage. I probably should be doing more. And then again, we're just going to unload. Yeah, really, really good damage on this second and third platform. If I'd done more on the first platform, you'll see at the end on how that would have changed things, because you'll see the end is extremely messy. But yeah, so we're on to the last stage now. He's got just under half health left, even less if you consider last stand. So he's actually probably got just under a third of his health left. So right here, I'm taking a breath, because I've got to this stage a lot and I've messed up on these platforms. But I'm also just waiting for my healing grenade and also my melee. Melee obviously to proc radiance, so I do more damage, and my healing grenade because those eyes next to Heffend do so much damage, it is pretty obscene. I remember now actually, I actually just gone to the toilet. This is why his break was. But he should come back in a second. He did wash his hands. Okay, he was longer than expected, but he's done. Now I'm just running about getting lots of heavy, even though I don't know why, because I'm full health. Full heavy. And we're just going to start the first damage phase here. I'm really confident on this one because I should have proc my Izanagi's first. And I also shoot that. Okay, maybe I wasn't ready. But I've got my healing grenade. When I've got my healing grenade on this encounter, it makes it so much nicer. Healing grenade is absolutely vital. I wouldn't go into one of these platforms without a healing grenade. The eyes and Heffend just does so much damage. I don't really know how you're supposed to survive unless you're just constantly jumping and strafing. But unless you're on a keyboard and mouse, that's relatively hard to do. So what I'm doing here actually is I'm just gathering up all my heavy again, making sure I've got like max heavy. I won't be able to proc Envious Assassin because I'm not getting any kills, but I'll still get 6. I'll still get 6 in the mag, and then I'll also obviously have a Gambler's Dodge, so I'll get 12 shots off. Hopefully all be a bait and switched and all be debuffed. I'm still just searching for heavy here. I'm not really sure what I'm doing, so usually I'll switch to Frosties right here. That's what I'm doing here. I'm swapping to Frosties, and it just means I can get my my grenade, my healing grenade, and my melee back quicker, so I can go on to the next phase. Now, if I was being really cautious, I probably would have waited for my golden gun, because it's not too long. I actually think I wait for my golden gun. So I did wait for my golden gun. I did wait for my golden gun. I was being really cautious here because I didn't want to have to do this again. I've been trying this for so long. So I just waited. I've made sure all my guns are reloaded, and then we're just going into the last phase here. We'll see how much damage we do, or second to last phase. Got my golden gun, really confident. Get the debuff off on Heaven with the golden gun, and then bait and switch with the Izanagi's. 250k damage on that one Izanagi shot. And then yeah, and then I just unload as much of that as I can. Make sure to get my healing grenade off. End damage a little bit early there, but that's just because I was worried I was going to die. If you saw, I actually almost killed myself with my rocket launcher, or with my grenade launcher. And then again, we'll just rinse and repeat. It's not the cleanest. It really isn't the cleanest. I haven't done this for other runs, but I really, really, really just wanted to get this one done. So as you can see, I'm running about with Frosties, and I am. I actually whiffed my super here, so I'll skip ahead to when my super is up. So my super's almost up. I actually ended up switching to intellect gear just so I could make that go a little bit quicker. I swear Frosties at one point increased your supercharge. Anyway, as you can see, I'm switching back here onto my resilience mods, and we're just ready for the last part. Now, usually I'd be really cautious, and I wouldn't want to get him into last stand here, because I always really wanted my golden gun for last stand. You'll see if you look at my previous video, I purposefully don't get him into last stand because I don't have my golden gun, and I actually end up dying back on the first platform. So I'm not making that same mistake again. I'm going in straight for the kill, straight getting him into last stand, and then I can do the bulk of my damage with my malfeasance build. So I'm anticipating having to use everything. You know, my golden gun, my bait and switch, envious assassin, edge transit. But if you see here, it was pretty useless because the one shot golden gun's 930k, and the Izanagi shot actually takes him to last stand. Now here, I wasn't anticipating this, and I didn't even think about it, and I panicked. Now I proc my Izanagis, get the bait and switch off on the edge transit, and try to unload everything I can. Honestly, what I'm doing here is so questionable, but I was just so... I had so much adrenaline, and I was so scared. Look, I'm trying to actually run away from the encounter. I get put on absolute one shot. I don't realise that the blight on the left was doing damage to me when I was there. I try peek out for a little bit of damage, get absolutely cooked. So I end up just waiting here for a good few seconds, like 20 seconds, making sure my health is recharged, and I've got my my lucky pants procced. And then we roll out. And we finish it. Honestly, when this happened, I screamed for a good 20 seconds because I've been trying to do this for so long. I was just so happy. So happy. You'll see the triumphs come through of me doing it, so you know it's legit. There's no cuts. Don't know why someone would do that. But yeah, my main tips for this dungeon is just abuse restoration, abuse the seasonal artifact. It is your savior with the debuffs. Make sure that you've got on the solo operative, so you're getting that extra 15% damage. I didn't have it on for the first few runs of this, and it was a massive mistake. And I get the emblem. The emblem isn't even that great. But you know what? Now I can nonchalantly say it to people that I've got the emblem and act like I did it on my first try. But thanks for watching. Yeah, see you next time.